Hello everyone, good evening. Hope everyone is doing great. In this techX, we are going to look at Pantheon hosting for Drupal. Pantheon is a website management platform and it offers some really amazing features, and it is easy to use and makes the Drupal hosting simple. And these are the topics we are going to cover today. We will install Drupal on Pantheon, and after that we will look into a Pantheon dashboard and how do we do a local setup on Pantheon, and the get and the put command for file transfer. And at last, we will look into command line interface with terminal. See, what is Pantheon? Pantheon is a website management platform. It has some integrated set of tools and services that allows team to build, launch and manage the website. Now let's just set up a Drupal on Pantheon. Installing Drupal on Pantheon is a very simple process. It's just a matter of few clicks. First step is to create your Pantheon account. For that, you can go to your pantheon.io. Here, this is the pantheon.io page. And here you can click on Get Started. And here you will be taken to the page where you do registration. And you will be able to create a free account. One good thing about creating the free account is that you'll get an option to create 2 development sites and you can use it free of cost. Once you create an account, you will be landed to this page where on the top left corner we have the workspace. I got 3 workspace. One is my personal workspace, Specbee, and the StemAds, one of my project. Right now I am on my personal workspace. If you scroll down, I can do 2 things here. One, I can migrate my existing site, or I can create the new site here. The existing site in the site which you already have, that you can migrate. Now let's just create a new site here. I will create a basic Drupal vanilla site, and here it's asking me what kind of site you are creating. We'll focus on Drupal 9 today, but you can also create WordPress, Drupal 10 and Drupal 7. I will click on Drupal 9. And here I'll name my site, and I'll name it as techX Specbee. And if you can see, our development URL also changes. It's dev and name of your site, and with the extension pantheon.io. Dev indicates that this is a development environment. And below we have the workspace. I can choose the workspace here. I can also change my workspace if I want. And I'll just click on continue button. And here now it will start deploying my site. It will deploy the Drupal 9 site, and it don't take much time to create a site. It will download all the modules and everything. Yeah, now we are done here. Now we will visit our site dashboard, the new site dashboard we have created. I'll click on visit the site dashboard here. Okay, now this is my site dashboard, and the Pantheon gives you 3 environments, that is dev, test and live. Those are completely 3 different sites and the environments you have. And on the left hand side, I have multi-dev. Multi-dev is when you want to create a multiple development environment. Like for example, you have multiple developers working in a site. You can create a multiple development environment here so that we can keep track of each of their changes. This is something paid, and we won't get in a free account. So yeah, next dev, I'll visit my development site. Here I'll configure my site. I'll choose the language. And here I'll choose installation profile. I'll go with the standard installation profile. Now here it will install all the modules and it won't take much time. And after that, we will configure our site here. Okay, let's configure our site. I'll provide my site information, my site name, and the site email address. Then site maintenance account, that is username and the password I'll provide here. And after that, I'll choose the country. And save and continue. Yeah, now our development site is ready and it's running. And if you see the URL, it says dev and the name of the site and the Pantheon.io extension. Dev indicates that is your development environment. Similarly, we'll create our test environment also. I'll go back to the dashboard and here I'll click on test. And here I will initialize my test environment. I'll click on initialize test environment. This will pull all the code, all the changes from your development environment and deploy it to your test environment. It will take a code base, database and files from your development environment and deploy it to your test environment. And this process might take some time. Okay, this is how you set up a site on the Pantheon. Similarly, you can initialize your live environment also, like when you go live. Okay, this is what how we set up Drupal on Pantheon. Next is the Pantheon dashboard and the workflow. I'll quickly give an overview on the Pantheon dashboard here. I'll move to my site. Okay, here we have, okay, this environments I've already told. Next, here we have code. When I click on code, I will be shown with all my code changes here. And here we can see all our commits made, and we can also view the difference. We'll show all the difference, code differences, and you can also view the logs here. And on the right hand side, we have the commit ID. And on the top, we have development mode. We have two development mode, SFTP mode and the Git mode. SFTP is used when you want to connect to the server, and Git is used when you push any changes from your local to the environment. Okay, this is what code is. Next, merge. Merge will merge your multi-dev into your development environment. Right now, we don't have any multi-dev, so it's showing nothing here. And next we have status. Status will give a quick overview on the environment, like database usage, what is the size of the database, and the best practices we can follow. The block is enabled, and Drupal caching we have in the site, and the aggregation is enabled or not. The cron run, when was the last cron run, and few more details on your database. And the extension, what on all extension we have enabled, and the status, Drupal, the version of the Drupal we have installed, and users, what are the roles we have in the site, views. Then last is the database log. Here green means it's good. It may also turn to red if there are any issue, and it will be listed here. You have to fix that issue to get it back to green. Next, we'll go for a database. Database, in that we have clone. clone is used to clone the database and files to your development environment from this environment. Usually what happens, client will add the content to the live site and you want to sync sync your database and files to the development environment. You can do that here. I'll choose the environment from where I want to pull the code. I'll choose live here. And again, you can choose here if you want only code base, you can uncheck this file. And here, once the clone finishes successfully, you can run the updb. You can also clear the cache. Then you have to click on this button. This will pull the code base and the file from your live environment, and it will deploy it to your development environment. Similarly, you can do for other environment also. And next is the import. Import is used when you have the database and file externally, like you have it in the zip format, and you can upload it here. You can choose the file. Similarly, the files we can do. This is for database and this is for files. Next is the export. Export is where you export your database. You can download the database here and you can import it on your local. Next is the wipe. Wipe will reset all the databases and files. This will lose all the data if you do it. So have to be careful here. Next is the error. PHP error will list out all the errors that we have in the site. Next, domain. Domain is where you can you can add your custom domain. Like for example, if I visit this site, this is the domain that is provided by the Pantheon. Okay, so if you want to add a custom domain also, you can add, and also that is also something paid. We'll get in the paid account. And next is the backup. This is where you keep the backup of your code base, database and files. You can keep a daily backup also, and that is something happens automatically. Next is the security. Now our this environment, this dev environment is in public, which means anybody having the URL can access this. You can also lock the site. I mean, this this is a development environment, and if you don't want any external user to visit the site, so you can lock this so that only your team member can access this development environment with the username and password. Next is the relic. Relic will monitor your site. Here it will list out all the errors. I'll go to my dev environment. Okay, it will list all the errors that I have in my live site and what is the performance of the site. And here it shows the performance of the site. All those details will get here. You can just look into each and every one of them. On the right hand side, we have workflow. Workflow will list out all the actions that we take, like when we clear the cache and we are deploying any command, deploying any code, all those things. Team will give who are added to this project. Then settings. Okay, settings, here you add your Solar server. You enable the Solar in your this environment. If you add the Solar here, it will make the server available in the search API page. And similarly, we can do for Redis. And delete a site. This is something that can't be undone, so have to be careful. And about the site will give you a quick details on the site, like when it's created and what's the version it's having, 999. And PHP version, it will show all the PHP what you have in each one of the environment, development, testing environment, and the live environment. This is about the site. And support I'll show in the end. And here public, this is something that reminds me that my site is public and anybody can access. And okay, this is the something important, that is connection info. Connection info, here I can see all my connection, the Git information and the database information and the SFTP info. Here database command, we can connect to the database server, And SFTP, we can connect with our development environment. Here, if you see the code, it's SFTP and port and dev you have here. And similarly, if I go to my test environment and if I give connection info, here I have SFTP port and the test. This tells us that they are all these are completely three different websites, and you can connect each of the environment separately. Okay, now I'll just show how we will connect to the database server. For that, I'll go to my dev environment and connection info. Now just let's connect to the development database server. I'll copy this MySQL command and I'll go to the terminal here and I'll paste. Okay. When first time if you try to log into the server, it will ask for authentication and you have to add your SSH key and you have to authenticate yourself by providing the SSH key and your machine token. You have to add that on your Pantheon account. Once you do that, you'll be authenticated. Then here, now I'm connected to my development server, and if I show the tables, this is the tables which I have in my development environment. Similarly, you can try connecting to the test environment also. Now I'll just exit this. Okay, now we'll try to connect with SFTP. I'll copy this and I'll try to enter this in the command line. Okay, now you have connected to your code base that is connected to your dev environment. And if I give ls here, it will list the folder and your code will be present inside this code folder. So you go inside that cd code, and if I give ls, it will list all the files that I have, like composer.json, composer.log. This is how you connect to your development environments. Now I'll just come out of this. Okay, at last we have cache clear. This is where you quickly clear your cache of the environment. This is about the dashboard and the workflow. I've created one file here, new data.txt, and I have added that file here, and I've committed with the message new data.txt file added, and you push that to your master. When you push the changes to your master, it will get reflected in your dev environment. If I go to code, see, this is, I've already pushed this, so I'm having the commit message here. Now if you want to deploy it to test environment, you go to test and deploy the code manually. This is something you do manually. This will pull the changes from your dev environment and deploy it to test environment. This is how you manually deploy the code. And similarly, when have to go live, you can also pull the code from your test environment and then deploy it to live. This is how is the workflow is. We'll go for local setup. With a few Lando commands, you can do a local setup. Okay, first I can create a empty directory, and inside that directory I'll run Lando init. This will pull the code base, and after that we'll do a Lando start, and after that we'll do a Lando pull. This is something I have to mention. Lando pull is a very useful command that helps you to pull the database, code base, and the file from your environment. I'll just quickly show how it is done. Okay, this is my empty directory that I've created. Inside that you run Lando init. Here it will ask me from where I want to get the code, I'll choose Pantheon. And again, the Pantheon account, I'll give my account here, account. And after that, it will ask which site. So you choose the site that you have created, new site you have created, that is techX Specbee. I've already done this. So I'll just come out of this. And after that, you run Lando start. Lando start will start your application. And I've already done that, and I'll just come out. Now I'll show Lando pull. This is something I want to show, Lando pull. Here after Lando pull, it will ask me from where I want to pull the code, that is from dev or test or live or none. I already have the code on my local, so I give none here. You can also choose dev or test, whatever environment you want. Next, I'll pull the code from pull the database from my dev environment here. I'll choose dev. And at last, it will ask me the files. I don't want the files on my local, so I'll go with none. You can also, if you want the file, you can choose the environment. Now this will pull the code. This will pull only the database from the dev environment, and it will import on my local. You don't have to like go to the dashboard, download the database, again come here and import the database. You don't have to do all that. This one Lando pull command does everything. And it's quite useful also. And you can also choose the environment from where you want to take a pull. Now our our database has imported successfully. And I'll do Lando info here. And I'll copy this URL. And I'll open the URL in the browser. Okay, now your local setup is done. With only just a few commands, you can finish your local setup. More detail on this Lando commands is provided by Shreyal. I'll provide the link here to the video. You can watch that. And after that, we have now next is the get and the put command. Get and the put command is used to transfer the file between your local system and the remote server. Get command is used to download the file from your remote server to the local system, and the syntax goes like get and the file name. And put command is used to transfer the file from your local to the remote server. And I'll just show how it is done. For that, in order to work on this, you have to be on your you have to change your mode to SFTP here. So go to the dev, and you have to change the connection mode to SFTP. Once you do that, you can work on this get and the put command. Now this is enabling the SFTP mode. Okay, that will enable. Now here I'll show how we can do this. Now we'll try to connect to the development server. I'll copy this SFTP. Clear. And if I give ls here, see, these are the files I have on my local. I'll copy this SFTP. Okay, now I'm connected to my dev environment. Here, say if you want to get the PHP error log file, you can fetch that. You have to go to cd logs and PHP And if I give ls here I have the php-error log file. Now let's download this file. For that, you need to run get php, your file name. Okay, now this is fetching the file from your remote to on your local. Similarly, if you want to download the folder, you can do that by get -r and your folder name. I'll just exit the server. You can hit command exit. And if in local, if I give ls, now I can see my Pantheon error log file downloaded. Okay, this is how you use the get command. Similarly, if you want to put the file, you can also do that. Let's create one new file named test.txt ls. Okay, now I have this on my local. And let's put this file. For that, you have to connect to the server, development server. Okay, now I'm connected. Now you have to move to the path where you want to put the file. Let's put inside the code, cd code, and if I give ls. Okay, now let's just put the file that is put and your file name test.txt. Okay, this will upload the text.file to your remote server. Okay, this is how you use a get and the put command. Okay, once you put the file, if you view your dev environment dashboard, you can see that it's saying there are some file changes and you have to commit this. See, this is the test.txt is the file that we have created. We have to commit this message, new file added. If you don't commit this, it will be removed in your next deployment. Commit the file. Okay, this is how you use the get and the put command. Okay, next we will go for now it is syncing the code and it will commit the changes. Okay, at last we have this terminus command. Terminus is the command line tool to interact with the Pantheon directly from your command line. And this is something you have to install. I'll provide a link how to install this terminus. And this is the format which you follow, that is terminus and the command and your site and the environment. Now I'll just quickly show how this works. Okay, once after you install terminus, you'll get this terminus. Now let's say if you want to, okay, now we are in SFTP mode. Now let's say if you want to change the mode to Git mode, you can do this with the terminus. For that, I can go like terminus, my connection set, and next is the environment site which I want to perform this. That is techX Specbee dot your environment, that is dev. Now I'm saying change the connection mode to Git. Enter. This will enable the Git mode. Now it's enabling the Git mode for this site. Now if I refresh this here, see now my development mode is changed to Git. So terminus is useful when you if you want to quickly do something, or else you have to go to the dashboard again, you have to load the dashboard again, then switch the mode. Instead, you can use this terminus command to directly do the certain things. And you can also use drush command here. it goes like terminus drush. I can also run drush command, that is terminus drush, and your site, that is techX specbee dot dev environment, clear the cache. Hit enter. This will clear the cache of dev environment of techX specbee site. You can also run drush CIM. This is useful when your site went down. Consider if your site went down and you cannot access the site through UI, or you cannot clear the cache through UI. You can do this way. And if you want to list all the commands which are available in the terminus, I can give terminus list. This will list out all the commands that are available. Yeah, this is about terminus. Okay, before that I have to mention one thing. The Pantheon support. Okay, if I go to the support here, if I run into a little bit of a issue, I'll go to the my Specbee workspace. If I like run into a little bit of issue, whether it could be a issue deployment failure or any issue related to the server, you can always reach out to the Pantheon team. Here you can reach out to them either through call, or you can also create a ticket. If it's a bigger issue, you can create a ticket. Here you can mention the site. Like in this workspace, I have got multiple sites, so you can mention the site which you are facing the issue, and the ticket category, like if it's a performance issue or any deployment issue or anything. And here we'll give the details on like complete explanation on the issue you're facing here in the description. Next, you can also launch a chat. If you need any clarification or any concern, if you have, you can launch a chat also. And if I go to message here, this is one of the chat. Like it's better if you provide these details when you start the conversation. That is, you can provide the dashboard link. Dashboard link is nothing but your site dashboard link, and the next is the site which you are facing the issue, and after that the environment, if it's a development environment, or next brief details on the issue that you're facing. This is how you connect to the support team, and usually they'll respond really fast. Within 5 minutes they'll respond, and I think it's pretty impressive. This is all about the Pantheon. If you have any questions.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I had an amazing time learning all the new things here at Specbee's techX. And if you did too, do let us know in the comments below. Keep following Specbee for the latest trends in technology. See you in the next one.